Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 on this here channel. Yes, that's right, I am wearing the ETCG1 hat, which means that we do not do repair videos here on ETCG1. What we do is something slightly different. We talk about stuff, hopefully exciting stuff. If it's not exciting to you, or you wish to check out some repair videos, why don't you head over to my Eric the Car Guy channel. I'll post a link in the description to make things easy for you, and you can go there and watch all the repair videos that you want. However, if you wish to stick around and join in the conversation, I'd love to have you. Let's talk. Let's get real here. I just wanted to talk a little bit today about luxury vehicles and the philosophies behind them. Am I uniquely qualified to talk about this? I'm not real sure, but I used to work for a luxury car dealership for about 8 years. So I think I understand the vehicles and I think I understand the owners. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And I welcome your comments and your input on this topic also. There will be a link in the description to a discussion about this video, along with the comments down below. Come on, you can do that too. I read them. I don't necessarily respond to them in the same way I do at the website. Now that we're done with that painfully long introduction, let's get to the conversation. Luxury vehicles, what are they? Well, luxury vehicles I would qualify as vehicles that go above and beyond just being basic transportation. And when I say that, what I mean is, well, at the heart of it, I mean, come on, just about anything you drive is there to get you from point A to point B. And we have pickup trucks, which are great for putting stuff in and hauling it from one place to another. Sport utilities, to some degree, get used to that extent. But then there is the luxury side of things. And what is the luxury side of things? Well, those luxuries are those things that you don't really need, but are really nice to have. I think that's the definition of luxury. I'm not real sure. A luxury vehicle would incorporate a lot of these creature comforts that you wouldn't normally find on a base model vehicle. And I think this is important to point out. Many luxury vehicles that are out on the market today are really just high-end cousins of their stock counterparts, or their stock brand counterparts, if you will. For Hondas, Acura is their luxury line, but Acura only exists in North America. Over in Europe, they still call them Hondas over there. They changed the name so that Americans would pay more money for Hondas. And that's often the case. And that's I think sort of at the crux of this argument is the definition of luxury, and are you really getting what you're paying for? For General Motors, they have their Cadillac division. Ford has Lincoln. Nissan has Infiniti. But I think you get the picture from that. There is the base brand that you might buy when you're buying a used car, or you're just getting out of college and you're buying your first new car or something like that. And then you might graduate on, say you're moving on up in the world. You've had a Jefferson situation, and now that you've made it to the big time, you wish to create a certain air, a certain status about you. In the past, I've talked a little bit about how you wear your vehicles almost like your clothing, where it's an outward representation of who you are. Yes, it's just basic transportation, but there's something about that vehicle that attracts you to it. And luxury car owners are different than quote-unquote normal car owners. They come to expect more. And I think those expectations come a lot from how much they spend on those vehicles. I mean, let's face it, some BMWs and Mercedes and other luxury brands, well, they get up there. I mean, these days, just like your basic vehicle, it seems strange to say, but I mean, I think bare minimum for just a basic drive around point A to point B kind of vehicle these days is maybe somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000 for something super basic that works as transportation. And with the luxury brands, you're just like bouncing off of that $100,000 mark or more. What are you getting? Both of those vehicles will get you to the same place if you drive them, but what is the difference? Well, that little two-door spec you bought for $10,000 is very basic. It might have a really crappy sound system. It might have a really crappy ride, but it does what it needs to do. It performs a function as a vehicle that gets you from one place to another. The luxury vehicle does the exact same thing, but it does it in style. How does it do it in style? Maybe with heated and cooled seats, maybe with a sunroof, maybe with special doodads that You know, maybe massage your back and your buttocks as you're driving down the road. You know, there's any number of things that are put in to justify that cost. And does that really make that vehicle worth more? Because luxury cars, after they've been used, pretty much drop like a stone in value as compared to what their original value was. Now, this happens with all vehicles, just to be fair, but with luxury vehicles in particular. And I think that's because the luxury car owner doesn't want to own last year's model. They want to own this year's model. You know, it's an extension of their status, which is the point I was making earlier about wearing vehicles like you wear your clothes. Yeah, you get in that luxury vehicle, you drive that luxury vehicle to be seen. There's a certain status that comes with it. I did an experiment once when I traveled years ago. Normally I used to travel, I just wear my jeans, my t-shirts, whatever was comfortable. Well, I had to go to sort of a convention and I needed to wear a suit. Instead of packing my suit in my suitcase, I just wore the suit just so that I could have it and not have to worry about getting it all wrinkled or anything like that. So I wore a suit for the first time and traveled. I went and flew. There was a huge difference in the way people treated me wearing the suit than when I just went around in my jeans and a t-shirt. Huge difference. And I think that carries over into vehicles. If you come rolling up in the latest Lexus, they're going to see you and treat you differently than if you roll up in the latest Ford Fiesta. Although Ford Fiestas are pretty cool, but still, if you're pulling up in the Fiesta, they're going to look at you differently than if you're pulling up in the latest Lexus. And that's just how it is. And it's the same thing with the clothing. So if you walk in jeans and a t-shirt, you're going to get treated differently than if you were wearing a suit. So does that justify the cost is the question that I put to you. The cost, the extra cost of having all those doodads and that status of having that nameplate plastered on the front of that, you know, whatever it is that you're driving. I mean, even trucks have gotten into this. I've seen, you know, the newer trucks that are coming out, pickup trucks I'm talking about. They even have, you know, leather interiors and other luxurious appointments, I guess. What happens with luxury items like that is they trickle down. It's like the Mercedes S-Class. Let's talk about the Mercedes S-Class here for a minute. The S-Class is like where all the fancy doodad stuff seems to start and then trickle down into the lower base models. So one way that you can say that luxury models are of benefit to us, you know, mere mortals, is because the things that you find on those high-end vehicles like the S-Class, I think that was the first car to have ABS brakes. And that trickled down on just about everything. The most basic thing these days has analog brakes. Airbags, same story. Those started out in luxury vehicles and worked their way into everyday vehicles. So there is a purpose to that technology. Brands that make these luxury vehicles take that R&D, if you will, and use it in their other vehicles to help sprinkle it in, to help sell it, to add value to the vehicles that they're selling. So you can't say luxury vehicles are all bad. But what I will say, this is the takeaway. What I will say is the luxury car owner sees things differently than the rest of us, or most of the rest of us, in my opinion. Having dealt with the owners themselves, some of the owners really down to earth, really straightforward, really great. Other owners, they have different expectations, and perhaps a lot of expectations. And you have to respect that, especially as a technician working on their vehicles. You treat them differently, you look at them differently, as opposed to, you know, somebody that pulls up in the, you know, late 70s Accord, you know, that's got like dog hair and garbage everywhere. You know, you're not going to treat that thing the same way. And hopefully the luxury car owner doesn't treat their vehicle that way either, but it sometimes happens. Money doesn't necessarily dictate intelligence or status or any of that kind of stuff. It just means you have money. As far as car makers are concerned, they have to cater to as many people as possible, because what are they trying to do at the end of the day? They're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you a vehicle. So they want to make sure that they give you what you want or what you expect for that, you know, $50, $70, $90, $100,000 that you might be spending on a luxury car or truck or SUV or sports car. I'm going to put it back to you. I've talked about what my opinions of luxury vehicles are. How about you tell me what your opinions of luxury vehicles are? What are your experiences with luxury vehicles? Have you owned luxury vehicles? Do they feel better than just regular vehicles that drive you from place to place? Do they make you feel special? Do people look at you different? And if you are a luxury vehicle owner, what is it about that vehicle that attracts you to it? Why would you spend that kind of money on something you're driving as opposed to on something else? What is that driving force? You tell me. Conversation is open back up to you. Hey, if you have automotive questions, I would ask that you head over to ericthecarguy.com. Why? Because it's the coolest website on the planet. And also, you can get help with your automotive issues there. In fact, that's where I advise you go should you have them. In fact, we have a number of different items there that are designed to help you with those automotive issues. If you wish to connect with me socially, I can be found on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. And I close each of my videos with, be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. Why? Because it's cool that way. I'll talk to you next time. See you later.